All right. Welcome in. This is the Mr. and Mrs. Wrestling Podcast, the only wrestling show where one of us is wildly overprepared.
And the other one is just here to cause problems.
And honestly, that's the perfect combo for what might be the most unhinged week in pro wrestling this year.
Yeah, we've got AEW Dynamite, Maximum Carnage, which somehow lived up to the name. Blood, chaos, grudges, and at least 3 moments where you just went, oh no.
Plus Saturday's AEW Collision, which quietly turned into one of those shows where you look up halfway through and go, wait, is this actually cooking?
Then history lesson time, because TNA Impact officially hits AMC. First time ever, new network, new eyeballs, and maybe the most important moment for that company in years.
We're talking big picture stuff there. What it means, what works, and what absolutely whiffed, and whether this finally feels like a real reset.
And then we head back to the land of sports entertainment.
WWE Week, Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and the vibes are getting real spicy because
It's Royal Rumble season! We're previewing Saturday night's main event. 1 week out from the Rumble, where everything feels like a setup, everyone's lying, and half the roster is definitely not winning the Rumble until they absolutely do.
we're breaking it all down the way we always do. We're breaking it all the way down like we always do. No corporate speak, no fake outrage, just what worked, what didn't, and what actually matters heading into the biggest stretch of the wrestling year.
So grab a drink
Or your notes app,
or your favorite conspiracy theory.
because this is Mr. and Mrs. Wrestling.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Welcome, guys. We're going to pick up the episode with AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage.
I really love the look of this venue. It had a different look and feel, and it shows that you don't have to have a 10,000 seat arena to stand out.
Yeah, definitely. It had the shorter entrance, right? The shorter runway
Yeah,
that led right into the ring, not like you go down and then climb in the ring.
yeah, it was like almost a stage setup.
That's pretty cool. The first match is a singles match. Darby Allin defeats Pac in 11 minutes and 3 seconds. Now, this match was nuts, right? Like, I feel like Darby Allin, when I was watching it, was just like getting the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, it was a great way to start the show. The Death Riders are turning into the good guys, and yet Darby is still going after them. Could we see Darby go dark and maybe partner up with someone like Brody or Buddy? I think that would be fun, but Darby had a real different feel. And at the end of the match, it was almost like he was going too far, changing his attitude almost. So definitely something to monitor over the coming weeks.
I mean, as somebody that is like more cash in this relationship, I totally am not getting that vibe. Like, the only Death Rider that feels like they're going face would be Mox to me. Everybody else seems like bad guys still. And to me, Darby will always be, I'm not seeing the heel, but maybe I'm just not picking up what they're throwing down.
Yeah, it's been like 8 months with the Death Riders. He's fought them all. He's gone to war with them all. So it's kind of like something's got to give or, let it go.
Then we had a singles match. Adam Page defeats Brian Keith with Big Bill in 9 minutes and 25 seconds. How'd you feel about this match?
It was a fun match, and it was nice to see Brian and Bill get some shine. The learning tree is definitely dead and gone, so they're back to just being a tag team. What really stood out is afterwards we had a Hangman, Kenny, and Swerve promo exchange. I'm very excited for this singles run of Kenny Omega, who seems to have a fire lit under him, and a triple threat between those 3 guys would be an instant match of the year contender.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really awesome match. And it is good to see Kenny getting back out there, Then we had a singles match. It was Brody King picking up the win against John Cruz, a squash match, obviously.
Yeah, it was a quick match. Cruz made it fun and entertaining, and I really enjoyed the pairing of John Cruz and MJF.
I love it.
From their time in Mexico, I'm glad that they brought it up to AEW. It'd be something entertaining to keep around.
Yeah, I think it would be really fun. I just love it. He's the perfect translator for MJF. He just has so much personality and It's been fun to watch. Then we had the AEW World Tag Team Title #1 contendership four-way match. Davis and Doyle defeat Gates of Agony and Jet Speed and the Young Bucks in 14 minutes and 56 seconds. How'd you feel about this match?
I thought this was a really fun match. I was surprised how much I liked the team of Doyle and Davis. They're just a nice old school muscle heel team, and they have the perfect voice behind them in Don Callis. Here's two big beefy dudes that has, one of the best talkers of all time and the best manager right now in Don
Right,
Callis.
right.
They remind me of a New Age Powers of Pain, just two big guys that can go. Gates of Agony, Young Bucks, and Jet Speed, they all look great, and I'm hoping to see a run of Gates of Agony and Young Bucks matches. It'd be good to see Gates of Agony get that rub from the Young Bucks and
Yeah,
continue this battle between, maybe the elite and the demand.
yeah,
So it would be something interesting to see. And Jet Speed, they got praise from Swerve and Hangman after the match. And Hangman actually recruited them for a trios title match that we'll talk about a little bit later against the Ops. But yeah, great opportunity for all of these teams. And Davis and Doyle, they're going to go on and battle FTR, which
that'll
we
be really fun.
we know FTR, they always bring it. And being with two roughhouse dudes like that, it'll be a good match.
Then we had a six-man tag team match. Triangle of Madness defeats Babes of Wrath and Chris Statlander in 11 minutes and 31 seconds.
Yeah, I get more impressed and enjoy the Triangle of Madness each week. Julia Hart and Sky Blue have been great as a team. Thekla has been, improving ever since she's come over. I really liked what she brought at Wrestle Kingdom. She just stood out as something different. And I could definitely see the Sisters of Sin coming away as new tag champs in the future.
Yeah,
And I'm highest on Sky Blue. I think she's really stepped it up since Blood and Guts. Her in ring has looked better. Her attitude, her vignettes have been better. Her promos, she's just really improved a lot. And I really enjoyed the K-pop Demon Hunter hair from
yeah,
Harley.
I
That
did.
looked
I
good.
liked it. She did look good. Then we had an AEW World Title match. MJF defeats Bandito by the referee's decision in 19 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah, this was an outstanding main event. Super entertaining, great action. If you guys were watching this, you saw our tweet
Mhm.
promoted on AEW TV, so we love to see that. This match really showed why these two are heavily featured on AEW and Ring of Honor and CMLL. MJF put over Bandito and was going to attack him after the match, but Brody made the save, but it certainly did look like Brody could be turning on him, and everybody in the arena seemed to think the same thing.
Yeah,
So I could definitely see it coming down the line, like I've been talking about for a couple weeks now, especially reforming the Hounds of Hell with Buddy.
yeah.
But this was a fantastic main event and a great way to end.
Then we're moving on to Collision. There was a singles match. Andrade El Idolo with Don Callis defeats Angelico in 3 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah, Andrade is officially back with AEW full time now. He's all cleared from the contract fiasco he had after
Yeah,
getting released. But this was just a quick squash match for Andrade. They're bringing him back into TV. He had a much better showing at Wrestle Kingdom as part of the 8-man tag match. But Andrade, he's going to be focused heavily, and he's a good hand. And I hope they use him more in CMLL and New Japan. He's got a big match coming up against Gabe Kidd for the #1 contender shot. So it'll be interesting to see where Andrade goes from here and what
yeah.
feuds they involve him in.
It would be nice to see him, do something big for a change. He's just been kind of like a low man guy for a while, and he's a really great wrestler. And where was it that we saw him first? Was it what was that Mexican wrestling one that we used to watch?
Triple A.
Not AAA. The one that was very much like a telenovela.
Oh, Lucha Underground?
Yeah, was he
He
there?
wasn't in Lucha
Okay.
Underground. He was in NXT by then. He went from CMLL to NXT.
Was he? What was his name though? He had a
Los
different
Hombre.
number. And then we had a tag team match. Eddie Kingston and Ortiz defeat the Grizzled Young Veterans, 13 minutes and 40 seconds. How's Eddie Kingston looking?
Yeah, I thought this was a solid match. Eddie's getting back into ring form.
Yeah.
What really stood out to me was Ortiz. He looked really good. He had new gear, and this was the best showing from Grizzled Young Vets since they've been in AEW. And I probably would have gave them the win to build up this feud a little bit more instead of cutting the legs out from it here. What I don't understand is how some matches the ref will, raise the arm once and then they'll call the match. And this one, they raised it like 4 times for Eddie to get that comeback, and it just doesn't make sense. Like to see them make it universal,
Yeah.
almost like how UFC, like, hey, we're doing this, and bam, if we see this, it's over. If
Yeah.
we raise it once, that's it, or stick with the 3 times and you're done.
And you're talking about when they raise the arm after they win.
No, like if they're like getting choked out or in a sleeper hold and they're
Oh,
checking it.
okay, gotcha,
Because
gotcha.
sometimes they'll just stop it and be like, oh, he's out. And then other times,
But you want to give them the chance to Hulk up, I feel like.
well, you got to do it across the board.
It has to be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so like 3 times or whatever they decide is how they do it.
Either you do the 3 times or you just call them out and let it be a referee decision.
Okay.
Make up your mind. Don't have it some ways for one and other ways for others.
Yeah, I get
Like
it.
for when Mox does his choke, he's out, he's done.
Yeah,
But like for this, they raised Eddie's hand like 4 times.
that
So,
doesn't make sense.
yeah, so make up your mind. Which way are we going?
Then we had a singles match. Marina Shafir defeats Zeta Steel in 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, Zeta Seal is getting the promotion and a push like an impactful person since she's the newest addition to the women's division. I got to see her at GCW in Hartford back in July. She lost to Elena Back in, an match.
Yeah.
Nothing that really stood out. But I'm also not the biggest Elena Black fan, so we'll see. But Marina, she continues to be pushed like a badass, and she's really grown so much from her NXT days when she was, Ronda's lackey.
And she was in the Mae Young Classic. She's grown from then, too.
Yeah, and Mox being in her corner gives her that rub to show she's a badass.
Yeah.
Mox was even putting over Zeta on commentary, so it shows you that they have high hopes for her. I'd like to see Marina do some of Mox's moves almost as like an apprentice.
Yeah.
But the big thing is we've seen Marina do these squash matches and these tag matches, but can she go alone with like a Tony Storm with a Willow for 10 to 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Because I think it's getting to that time where she's got to really step up. And if she's going to be a main player in the women's division, we got to see that match.
Yeah, we have to see it. Right. Then we had a 6-man tag team match. The Don Callis family defeats Skyflight, 13 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah, Fletcher's entrance surprising Mox, and Mox talking about their match makes me think that they're going to run it back with this whole Don Callis and Death Riders feud. Mox and Don going back and forth on commentary was really fun. I like seeing those interactions. As far as Skyflight, I think it might be time for Dante to go solo. Seems like he's outgrown his brother a little bit with his in-ring and his presence. Fletcher gave a lot in this match. Him and Alexander really stood out as the top guys when you were watching it, and you just could see that those guys are on a different level. Fun thing at the end of the match was Takeshita coming out and walking right past Don and went right to Fletcher.
Yeah.
I mean, the thought of seeing them get a run as a tag team and splitting off from the Don Callis family would be really entertaining.
Yeah.
To see a Fletcher and Takeshita against, the Young Bucks.
It would be really a great match.
Against like Mox and Claudio or Claudio and Pac against Jet Speed.
Yeah.
That would be really entertaining. And to see them maybe have a run in Japan too would be something cool.
Yeah.
Maybe against the Knockout Brothers.
I think it would be awesome to see them do something together because they're both really talented wrestlers and Fletcher's your guy. Then we had a tag team. Seems like this must have been a squash match. It was short. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford defeat Danielle Camella and Vivia Van.
Yeah, this was just to set up the afterwards, which was Toni Storm coming out to confront them, and she was on her game. She looked amazing. I made you watch it.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Without a doubt, she's the best woman in wrestling as a total package, and I'm not sure anyone can cut a promo like her.
Right. She's incredible.
Yeah. And I think it's time for Megan Bayne to get a title run of some sort, whether that's tag titles, Ring of Honor, something.
Yeah.
She's great in the ring. She looks the part. She's even improved on the mic. And I like the team of Bayne and Marina more than Bayne and Penelope, but alternating it as a trio, I don't really mind that at all. The Doomsday Device finisher was something. It looks a little rough, but it always did for the Legion of Doom as well. But yeah, it was fun. And anytime we get Megan Bayne, Marina, and Tony Storm together, it's going to be something entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. Then we had an AEW National Title #1 contendership match. Jack Perry defeats Anthony Bowens in 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, this was an interesting matchup here. It was really nice to see Bowens get a #1 contender match, but why did he get a shot? What has he done over the last month or
I
so to
haven't
earn
even
a
seen
title shot?
him.
Yeah, he's been going back and forth with Max Caster, but yeah, I mean, he's good in the ring. Jack Perry's solid, but I just always feel like there's something missing for him to click with the audience.
Yeah.
They did have a really nice scissor moment between the two of them, which was fun. I think that just shows when Bowens is being over the top and fun, that's when he actually connects with the crowd. When he's trying to be this serious, impact player, no one buys it.
Yeah.
Just be fun, be entertaining, and get over in that role.
Yeah.
But we're going to be seeing Jack Perry and Ricochet again for the national title. So big win for Jack Perry, but I don't see anyone taking that title from Ricochet at the moment.
No, he's too hot for that. Then we had the AEW World Trios title match. Adam Page and Jet Speed defeat the Ops. Now, was this Powerhouse Hobbs last?
Yeah, this was his final AEW match. It looks like he's heading to the WWE. It was, something different for Tony Khan. Normally, if people aren't re-signing, he just doesn't use them. So he used Hobbs up until the very last day of his contract.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about him going to WWE. You got to look at it big picture. He's good, but whose spot is he taking?
Maybe he'll replace Biggie and the Bootios guys.
In the New Day?
Yeah.
That doesn't really make sense.
I don't know. They need a big muscly guy.
They got Grayson Waller.
I don't like him.
But think about it. He's not getting over Roman.
No, I don't know what he's gonna do there.
Yeah, I
Is he
mean,
going to NXT?
no one knows yet, but they just called up Oba and Trick Williams.
Yeah.
So they're not going to push Hobbs over those two guys.
No.
You got Carmelo there. I mean, he could do a run in NXT, but he's not a 20-plus-year-old guy. I mean, maybe if they, work him in the way like an Ethan Page,
Yeah.
and have him be the veteran down in NXT, use him in AAA. I mean, maybe, but it'll be interesting, but I'm not sure what the future's going to hold for Powerhouse Hobbs.
I mean, could he do something like with their partnership with AAA?
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely be featured there. I mean, I don't know how big he would be in Mexico. I mean, he'd be entertaining. Maybe him and Omos as a tag team, that'd be something fun.
Yeah, maybe.
But I thought this was a really solid match. Would have been a lot better with no commercials. I feel like if AEW did something different and just had their main events with no commercials,
That would be awesome.
yeah, it would make their main events seem more impactful, and it would be something different that no other promotion's doing.
Yeah, because they even went to commercial without the picture-in-picture, so you missed part of the match. You
Yeah.
didn't even get to see the whole thing.
Yeah. The double knees to Hobbs face by Speedball was really brutal. Those knees look pretty tough all the time. But Hobbs took the L at the hands of Kevin Knight, and he's going to be battling Swerve on Dynamite. That was actually this past Wednesday. So, yeah, big opportunity for Speedball and Kevin Knight, who were looking for a team name, and Speedball suggested Horsecock.
I love that.
Hangman told him it didn't get over when he tried it before. They'll see. FTR and Stoke came out, and I'm really excited for this FTR Davis and Doyle match. Should be fun, and I hope at some point we get a Don Callis and Big Stoke face-off.
In the ring or just like on the mic?
On the mic.
pretty fun.
I don't need them to wrestle. And there was a real nice promo from MJF that showed his match at Limitless Wrestling against Alec Price. They did just sign Alec Price and Jordan Oliver, YDNP, former GCW tag team champions. I really like the idea of MJF being the traveling champ and defending on the indies and all over the world, doing his best Ric Flair impression right now.
I think it would be awesome.
All right, we've said our piece on Maximum Carnage Week. We survived. Nobody got seriously hurt.
Yet.
But before we jump into TNA, making history on AMC, we got to pay the bills. Wrestling's expensive. Microphones aren't free.
And Tony Khan definitely isn't Venmoing us.
So, quick break. Don't go anywhere. When we're back, TNA Impact on AMC, why this matters, why this might be the biggest moment for the company in a decade.
All right. If you're a smart fan or a casual fan, you're all fans. And I have the podcast for you, Steve and Mare, Mr. and Mrs. Wrestling. That's right. If you're not listening to Busted Open and Dave LaGreca, I recommend you listen to Mr. and Mrs. Wrestling. That's right. Steve and Mare, casual and smart. And you know what? You could be both at the same time. And who better to do it than Steve and Mare? Steve, Mare, take it away.
Right. So let's talk Impact. I didn't hear good things about it.
Yeah, it was very rough. It started out hot with a nice AJ Styles introduction. Would have been nice if they would have built that to something, but it was just him introing the show, and then it kicked off, and that was the highlight.
So the first match, 6-man tag team match, Elijah and the Hardys defeat Order 4 with Special Agent Zero, Tasha Steelz, 8 minutes and 18 seconds.
Yeah, this was a fun match. The Hardys are super over, and they should be featured as the big deal in TNA because they are the hugest draw for TNA.
Yep.
I've really enjoyed everything Ali has done in TNA. He's got a really good gimmick, goes all out, and I'd like to see him in a main event role and get that push. I love that they push Agent Zero, Johnstown's own. He looks different than anyone on the roster and is in a great spot being the muscle for Ali in this group.
Bill Collier.
Yep.
He works out at Evolution Gym. All right. And then we had the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team title match. So we had the Elegance brand picking up the win against the Inspiration in 8 minutes and 44 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like the Inspiration is finished up with TNA, most likely getting another WWE NXT run. So we should be seeing them maybe as soon as next week in the Rumble. But this whole segment was rough. They announced who Mr. Elegance was, and nobody knew who the hell he was. And it's just an independent wrestler named AJZ. This was really rough to watch, and the match after wasn't really that much better. Big drop from what the knockout division has been in the past. You know, with women like Gail Kim and Tessa Blanchard and Taya and Deanna.
Yeah.
You know, Chelsea and Naomi, Mickey James.
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong. This was just really rough to watch.
And we had... Well, see, I don't like the Elegance brand and I don't like the Inspiration. I didn't like them when they were the Iconics either. They're just not entertaining to me. They're annoying, but maybe that's what they're going for. The TNA World title match is next. Mike Santana defeats Frankie Kazarian in 16 minutes and 51 seconds.
Yeah, this was the match of the show, and that's not saying much. Last week, they teased Nick Nemeth, who was nowhere to be seen in this. This match was okay. Both guys tried, but the show was just a letdown. It started hot with AJ, but just fell flat. The rolling buck 50 into a backstabber was really cool, but now we have the new champ, and it's two-time champion Mike Santana. So they took the title off of him quick just to put it back on him on the opening show of AMC.
I mean, I guess it was nice to have a few title changes on their first show, you know.
Yeah, it would have been better if the matches themselves were a little more impactful.
Yeah.
But overall, this was a big letdown with this show, and it reminds me of TNA when they signed Hogan. It's all potential, but nothing coming from it. There were two new additions to the knockout division. Elena Black, formerly known as Cora Jade, who's more look than substance, and she was just burned out from wrestling this past summer. So now she's back. So
Doesn't make sense.
yeah, we'll see. She's still raking in that OnlyFans money. So, and we have the returning Daria Ray, formerly known as Sonya Deville,
The girl I always think is, what's her name?
Ruby Riott.
Yep.
Yeah, so she's going to be a GM type to go against Santino. This whole show just felt like an NXT light, and that wasn't necessarily a good thing. The roster seems to be in flux at the worst time and a little too reliant on WWE and NXT at the moment.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There's rumors that Steve Macklin might be finishing up with TNA, so it'll be interesting.
Right.
You know, if they can't keep the Hardys, that's one of their big draws right there.
They would like literally not have a show.
Yeah, I mean, all summer long they were riding Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and NXT. And there was no Leon Slater on this show because WWE needed him for the European tour. So it just shows you what's more important in this partnership. TNA and their debut show or European tour for SmackDown.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take our second break. We're taking a break. This episode of Mr. and Mrs. Wrestling is powered by W Energy. Listen up, brother. You know, in the squared circle, it's all about having the energy to go the distance. No sugar crashes, no jitters, just clean, focused fuel to keep you going through every promo, every match, and every late-night wrestling binge. That's where W Energy comes in, the ultimate tag team partner for your brain and body, packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and a knockout flavor lineup. W is here to make sure you never gas out before the final bell. No fake stuff, no gimmicks, just pure power. So whether you're cutting promos or cutting down on fatigue, grab a tub of W and unleash your inner champ. Head on over to w.gg and use promo code Mr. and Mrs. to get 10% off your first order. That's w.gg/Mr. and Mrs. Fuel up, throw down, and leave your competition down for the 3 count. All right, we're back. And if you skipped the ads,
We forgive you, but we don't forget.
we just did real analysis, history, context, adult wrestling talk.
Which means it's time to completely change the tone and head straight to the land of sports entertainment.
That's right, WWE Week.
Raw, SmackDown, and a Saturday night's main event preview with the Royal Rumble lurking 1 week away like a jump scare.
Let's do it. We're going to start off with WWE SmackDown. There was a number 1 contendership qualifying match, and it was Randy Orton beating The Miz, 4 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah, Miz continuing to be involved in the right spots, but I feel at some point he's got to pick up a win if he's going to be this viable entity in these matches. How I mentioned Rey Mysterio in previous episodes, the same should be applied for Randy Orton. You got to save him for the big important angles and matches where he belongs. And let's be honest, did anyone really think The Miz was going to beat Randy Orton here?
No way, Jose. Listen, I've never been an Orton fan until he got old, and now I really love him. Then we had a tag team match. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair pick up the win against Julia and Kiana James. 8 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah, Alexa and Charlotte went from battling Nia and Lash to Julia and Kiana. I'd like to see them give Julia time and big matches to get over. I do think Kiana has a Mandy type of potential if she puts the work in and gets these matches and gets more reps going. She definitely has the look, and her mic skills have gotten better over the last few months.
Yeah. Then we had the AEW, just kidding. Then we had an undisputed WWE title match, the number 1 contendership qualifying match. Whoop That Trick defeats Matt Cardona, as he should.
Yeah, I wish they would have gotten a little more time. I really like Cardona and Trick. It was a decent match. Trick has a chance to be a real impactful guy based on his NXT run and how they're booking him so far on the main roster.
Yeah.
Ona, on the other hand, he's going to be a contender, but I'd be shocked if they give him a real run, maybe a secondary title run like an Intercontinental or US title. But I would really like to see him and Chelsea back together. When they were on the indies as the Deathmatch King and Queen, they were great together.
Yeah, they were fun. I mean, do you think he's going to be able to get out from under the woo-woo-woo gimmick?
Yeah, he definitely
I
can.
mean, he did in the indies, but, like, in WWE, are they really gonna let him go?
I mean, I think if they put him with Chelsea and let his personality and let him be a heel, and he could be, the first man of the cabinet, they could do something,
Yeah,
funny and spin with that. But I think him being a heel with her would be so much better and build up that faction. And that way he doesn't have to be world champion. He could be US champion, intercontinental champion, he could, be an NXT champion. Him and Ethan Page could be a tag team and go for the tag titles and be a part of that as a
yeah,
group. There's a lot of different ways they could go with it, but his money is being a heel. He's so
yeah,
much better as a heel because just like you, it's easy to hate him.
yeah. It's easy to hate me, is that what you're saying?
No,
I'm just kidding.
you hate Matt
It's
Cardona.
eas Alright. Then we had an undisputed WWE title number 1 contendership qualifying match. Damian Priest picks up the win against Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, this
I
was
love Damian Priest.
yeah, he's really turning the corner. Seems to be getting some steam as of late and would be a real fun challenger for Drew McIntyre. They've had their battles in the past. I feel the same things can be said for Priest and Rhea Ripley since they partnered up a little bit on SmackDown. They gave each other a little bit of a rub, and their trajectory has just been going up.
Yeah, I think that they're great together. I mean, in real life, they're like best buds. But I mean, I've been a fan of Priest since he was in, what was it, TNA or Ring of Honor when he
Ring of
was,
Honor, Punishment Martinez.
yes, Punishment Martinez. I always want to call him the Giant Gonzalez. Not even the same person.
Yeah, Solo has a great personality as well. I think he just needs a push. Uh, he's definitely entertaining. When he's himself, it's so much more fun. The Wyatts came out and attacked the MFTs, and that's how they ended up costing Solo the match. The Wyatts tried to get their lantern back, but as Uncle Howdy had it, Talatonga hit the big boot, and the feud that never ends is continuing. The MFTs and the Wyatts. Feels like it's been for like 3-4 months now.
Yeah, I haven't really paid much attention, but they were still feuding at the holiday tour when we went last month, so it's long enough for me too. All right, we had the United States title match. Carmelo Hayes defeats Leon Slater in 11 minutes and 44 seconds.
Yeah, so instead of Leon being on the AMC debut for TNA, he was here.
Getting his ass beat.
Yep. So this was a lot of fun and really solid match. I'm a huge fan of Leon Slater and think the sky is the limit for him. I think he is challenging Solo for best entrance music right now.
Yeah,
He's got a really good theme. This was another good showing for Mello as well, who's really held his own and been good as U.S. champ,
yeah,
surprising me some. I'd like to see a long-term feud for him eventually. I'm not sure if they're just going to keep doing open challenges for the U.S. title, and that's the sole purpose of the U.S. title is just a good match on weekly TV,
yeah.
which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I'd like to see a little more growth and development for Mello, but nonetheless, he's having good showings each and every week.
Yeah, he's entertaining. I enjoy watching him wrestle. Then we had a singles match. Jordan Grace picks up the win against Chelsea Green. How did you feel about that? 2 minutes and 36 seconds?
Y-
Jesus.
Yeah, they were short on time. I love both these women. Wish they had been given like 10 to 15 minutes because they can go. They have a history from Impact. I think Chelsea has the potential to be the WWE version of Tony Storm. She's got that personality, the connection. They feature her heavily in that Unreal show because she's great. She can talk. People like to see her. Her social media game is on point.
Yep.
I'd rather see Jordan go after Julia instead of being fed to Jade, who's brought nothing to the women's world title. I could see Jade holding the title till Mania and maybe longer,
Yeah.
but I think they're just biding time with Jade until they reintroduce Bianca, and I think that's going to be her big feud.
When's Bianca coming back?
Probably the Rumble.
Okay, I've missed her. All right, we had an undisputed WWE title number 1 contendership qualifying match. Sami Zayn picks up the win against Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah, this was a really good hard-hitting rematch from when Ilya won the U.S. title from Sami Zayn earlier this past year. This sets Sami to be the last in the four-way in his hometown of Montreal on Saturday night's main event. It was a tough loss for Ilya, who's now toiling in the mid-card. As I talked about in the previous episode, it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Like,
Yeah.
what are they really going to do with him? Like, yeah, he came out and like Carmelo, he was just having good match after good match as U.S. champ, but wasn't really going anywhere, doing anything to connect with anybody.
Y
We'll see. Like I've mentioned, hoping to see him and Gunther as like a dominating force in WWE. That would be a lot of fun because those two, they would be fantastic and hard hitting, putting them up against like the Usos or Roman and Jay or whoever, even if if Gunther's going to eventually feud with Lesnar, maybe, Gunther has a little backup against the Vision.
Yeah.
Something to think about and something that would be fun.
Right. We're going to move on to Raw. Now, the show started with Gunther listing his achievements and that he put Goldberg to sleep, made John Cena tap like a little bitch, and that he's entering in the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles comes out and challenges Gunther for a match at Rumble, but Gunther says he has no incentive, but if he puts his career on the line, Gunther will give him the match. AJ said he talked to his wife and she said to kick his ass, Seabass. It's official, Royal Rumble. Will this be the end of AJ Styles? I think we've got him at least through Mania. What do you think? But he can't lose. But Gunther can't lose. But also he tapped. I have so many feelings about Gunther tapping just after he tapped out John Cena.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we've been talking about for months that, are we going to be just feeding these guys at the end of their career to Gunther?
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to continue the Gunther, monster run here.
Yeah.
But it just really all depends. Is AJ just going to go out just like this? Or is he going to continue on? I would have definitely saved this match for WrestleMania
Yes, absolutely.
to give AJ Styles the big send off. I mean, AJ Styles' last match is going to be in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know.
I mean,
They might do him like that, though.
I don't like that at all. I mean, if he's going out like that, then he might as well just sign a 1-year deal with AEW and have Tony Khan give him the send off. And then we can finally get the dream match I've always wanted.
AJ and Kenny?
AJ and Kenny.
If he did go out at the Royal Rumble, he'd go out the way he came in 10 years ago. So it might be his final match we're looking at on Sunday. Then we had a first match of the night. It was the AEW Women's
WWE.
Just kidding. We had the WWE Women's Intercontinental title match. Becky Lynch defeats Maxine Dupree with Natty. Now, you fell asleep, which is very unlike you. Usually I am sleeping through wrestling. But I watched the match, and there were some shitty spots. But I was not expecting a heel turn from Natty, and she did the thing. She did really good. I was like, oh my God, I love her as a heel.
Yeah, she's bringing that Bloodsport and GCW version of Natty to WWE.
WWE.
And Maxine looked the part. She had better facials, but Becky just felt like the bigger star here and had a presence.
Yeah.
The spin kick by Maxine was horrible looking, as you mentioned, those rough spots. But yeah, Natty turned and helped Becky. Becky hit the manhandle and still the champ. And then Natty sprung into action and just attacked Maxine. So
I can still hear her little voice in my head. Why? Why, Natty?
yeah, I'm not a huge Maxine fan. She just I don't feel the connection when she comes out.
Yeah.
And I could see her more in like a comedy role,
This wasn't comedy?
No,
Oh,
it wasn't
oopsie.
intended to be.
Oopsie. She had that Nancy Wheeler hair going and everything. I
mean,
was like,
she looked great. I mean, she's
very athletic.
and she's in great shape, but in ring wise, she would be better suited in a tag team role. Putting her with Chelsea to, maybe let some personality come out and, just something to see. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do. I would think about adding her and Blake Monroe to Chelsea and just build that whole thing up and let them eat off each other and really become a dominant
Yeah.
fourth,
I mean, if you say it enough times on our podcast, maybe the right people will listen eventually. Because you
maybe.
do say that pretty much every week that you think she should be with Chelsea,
Yeah,
be another member of the cabinet.
they're real life friends, and it would create a better environment for her to succeed and to get over.
Yeah.
And you can see it works with Chelsea. And then it'll be so much more impactful if she joins her. And then when she turns on her and goes back to being, the super baby face, then you have
Uh,
more cachet built into it other than these just, workout videos in the dungeon with Natty.
Yeah. Then we had a six-man tag team match. Right. Oh, right. Then we had a six-man tag team match, LWO, with Penta defeat the Vision. Um, I really didn't watch this match.
Yeah, it was a decent match. Nothing still special with this. I'm still waiting for the Lucha Brothers to team up and bring what they do best to the WWE and be that tag team that they don't have at WWE.
They would be incredible. I love the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, the Vision as a group is a good idea, but not everyone can go for the world title at the same time. So I would start setting these guys on the hunt for titles. You could have Bronson going for the Intercontinental title, maybe Logan and Austin as a tag team going for the tag titles.
Yeah.
I think if they, started trying to, get titles, it would build them up more than just being the muscle for Braun to try to get the world title.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd also protect Ray, save him for the big matches and, the big shows, make him a special attraction.
Yeah, until Gunther can get a hold of him and take him out like he does everybody else.
I don't think Ray's ever going to retire.
Probably not. Neither are the Hardys. Then we had a singles match. El Grande Americano defeats Javon Evans by referee's decision in 6 minutes and 22 seconds.
Yeah, it sucks that Javon got hurt. Not sure where in the match this happened due to commercial.
Yeah, that's all I saw was that he was out and they were ending the match.
Yeah, so it was a big letdown. I heard Javon's going to be okay, nothing too serious, but yeah, brutal way to, have a big opportunity on Raw, but, something he can definitely come back from it. Both these guys are super talented.
Yeah. Then we had the WWE World Heavyweight title match. CM Punk picks up the win against Finn Balor in 16 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, this was the best version of Finn Balor I've seen in a long time. Might have been because he was home and he seemed to have a little extra pep in his step, but he brought it tonight. Love the old entrance music being brought back. No Judgment Day interference, just a solid wrestling match.
Yeah.
Punk always sells good, and he looks beat down in each and every one of his matches, and it makes for good TV.
Yeah, he always looks like totally gassed by the time he's done.
Yeah. And this would be another example of no commercials during a main event would make these shows so much better and
Yeah.
the matches must see. But yeah, this was a fantastic main event. I think this was the best Raw of the new year. It was entertaining, great crowd. They were hot for the main event. I really enjoyed the promo from Gunther. Overall, it was a really good Raw experience.
I enjoyed what I saw of it. I was like really in it at first in the beginning. All right, we are going to do a quick little Saturday night main event preview. So there's going to be the WWE Women's Tag Team title match, Rio, which is Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, this should be a really good match. Liv getting back into ring form. I would prefer Liv in a solo opportunity, but there can only be so many people in the solo title picture. So this is a great spot for her.
Do you think she's going to turn here at Saturday night's main event?
I don't think so. I think
Not yet.
no. I think that's you want to build that up a little bit more, and you want to wait till Dom is back.
Yeah.
Because she's tied in closely with Dom. There's a couple different ways you could go with it. If Dom chooses Roxanne, that could propel Liv into, this crazy, vengeful character that is out to destroy the Judgment Day and would make her an ultimate baby face after, having done to her what she did to Rhea.
Yeah.
So it would be entertaining that way, or they could just boot Roxanne out and she stays with her daddy Dom. Couple different ways to go about it.
Yeah, or maybe Liv could get a whiff that they're doing something and kick her out early
Yeah.
before Dom comes back. Then we're going to have the WWE Undisputed #1 title contendership final fatal four-way match. Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest versus Trick Williams. This match sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be in Montreal, so there's no way Sammy's going to lose this.
He's the hometown hero here.
Yeah, Sammy wins the match to get to the big match. He just never wins the big match.
Always the bridesmaid.
Right. So I wouldn't expect anything less than a good match here. Randy's going to go all out. Trick is going to, this is a huge coming out party for Trick. And it's going to, show, can he swim with the big fish? And is Damian really going to solidify himself as being in that big time contender picture?
Yeah, I hope so. Then we have a singles match, Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. So what kind of match is this going to be? Who got the title? Drew did over Rhodes, right?
Yeah, because Jacob interfered, so it set this up.
Oh, so it's like a revenge match?
Yeah, so I think they're going to protect both these guys heavily. They're just going to keep building out this feud. I'd expect it to play out in the Royal Rumble as well. Roman will probably get involved. A bunch of different ways this could go. I think this is going to eventually lead to Roman and Cody, maybe one more time at Mania. It'll be interesting. I don't see them feeding Roman to Drew. So,
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I could see, maybe Cody finds a tag partner and it's Jacob and Roman versus Cody. They could go about it a bunch of different ways, but at least it's two entertaining guys that can go.
Do you think Cody's going to win the Rumble again this year so he can fight Drew in WrestleMania and get his title back?
It's possible.
This would be back-to-back years for him?
3 years in a row.
Oh my God, Stone Cold's the only one.
Yep. Yeah, so he's approaching that Stone Cold phase. So we'll see. Cody's getting a lot of heat from fans. It's basically what happened in AEW. People got tired of the good guy Cody.
Yeah.
And he still got his cheers and, the kids love him and everything. But the adults, they want heel Cody. They want the Ring of Honor, Cody and Bernard the Business Bear.
Yes, I want that.
Where
it would be great.
He comes out in the fur coats and he's
looking like your shirt that you got of him, Brandy. Yes,
yeah.
I would live for that kind of Cody again. He would do Dusty proud doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna do that because he's selling way too much merch, and they're just not gonna go that route. But you have the potential to see the same thing WWE that you saw at the end of AEW, where the crowd just turned on Cody. They like him, but they're just sick
of tired of him being a good guy.
Yeah, they're ready for something different. So that's my concern with Cody.
I think that they could do it, though. I think it would be successful. Like, yes, you want the kids to be happy, but, there are plenty of other people on the roster.
Yeah, but do they want to mess with that merch money?
I guess not.
Because you lost Cena. You're not having his merch anymore.
It's true.
So
they could just sell blank T-shirts. Because you can't see him anymore. So good. I should be the merch coordinator for WWE. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week of the Mr. and Mrs. Wrestling podcast.
AEW Chaos, TNA History, WWE Setting the Table, and next week, it's all Royal Rumble all the time.
My favorite time of the year, Rumble season. If you enjoyed the show, do us a favor, rate it, review it, tell a friend, tell a wrestler.
Or tell someone who still thinks The Rock is winning the Royal Rumble.
You can follow us on social, catch the clips, and argue with us politely in the comments.
Or aggressively, that's also allowed.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
We'll be back next week.
With more wrestling and fewer bad takes, probably.